Good afternoon, teachers and friends. This is our IPW presentation on our notable figure by Kelly, Kaydence, and Kiera.
Table of contents. 1. Who is our notable figure? In this slide, we will tell you who our notable figure is.
2. Why is she a notable figure? In this slide, we will explain why Liz Murray is a notable figure.
3. Why did we choose her? In this slide, we will explain why we picked Liz Murray as our notable figure.
4. How did she inspire us? In this slide, we will explain how she inspires us.
1. Who is our notable figure?
For our notable figure, we chose Liz Murray. She is an American inspirational speaker, and she was accepted by Harvard despite being homeless before.
Personal details. Her full name is Elizabeth Murray. She was born on 23 September 1980. She was born in the Bronx, New York. She is American. Her parents are Jean Murray and Peter Finnerty, and she attended the Humanities Preparatory Academy in Chelsea, Manhattan.
Personality. 1. She is hardworking. She's hardworking because she got into Harvard despite being homeless before. 2. She is caring. She's caring because she transferred from Harvard to Columbia University to take care of her ailing father. 3. She is responsible and self-reliant. She is responsible and self-reliant as she fought homelessness, having no parents and no food. She also fought without having someone to guide her in her life.
2. Why is she a notable figure?
She is notable for having been accepted by Harvard University despite being homeless in her high school years, and even wrote a book about her story. 3. Why did we choose her?
We chose her as we thought that she had an inspiring and meaningful story that we want to share with more people.
4. How does she inspire us? She's inspiring as when she was still young, her parents were drug addicts and they would choose to spend their money on drugs instead of food or other necessities. She coped with her difficulties, studied hard, and eventually got accepted into Harvard. This is a video from the streets of New York to the halls of Harvard.
We'll never forget Liz Murray's unbelievable story of overcoming the odds. They even made a TV movie out of this.
Liz Murray's childhood was consumed by drug-addicted parents, hunger, and homelessness. She took us back to where it all started.
This is the building. I lived here for 13 years with my parents. This was the center of my world and the center of their drug addiction. This is where they shifted from being casual drug users to full-blown junkies. Well, the mailboxes were over there. The first of every month, the mailman brings everybody's disability check. We'd get the check, and then the first stop would be down Grand Avenue so my parents could get drugs. And 3 days later, the check would be gone, and that's when we would go hungry.
Liz says watching her parents shoot up in their home was just a normal part of her day. She skipped school most days to work and care for her mother, who was sick and schizophrenic. Liz also wanted to avoid the teasing at school.
If you have lice in your hair, dirt on your neck, holes in your clothes, school doesn't feel like an option. No, I never went to school.
She had virtually no formal education, but she learned on her own, reading books. When Liz's parents split up, her father left to live in a shelter, and she became homeless at 15. When she was 16, her mother died of AIDS, and that's when she decided to stop running from her own life.
I said to myself, what if I woke up and every single day I did everything within my ability during that day to change my life. What could happen in just a month, a year? What would be different about my life?
For the first time in her life, Liz made school a priority.
I doubled up my course load and I took 1 full school year per semester.
She studied on subways, in the light of doorways, and in 2 years, she finished 4 years of high school and graduated top 2 of her class, all while being homeless.
It didn't matter if I didn't have anywhere to live, so long as I was determined.
That hard work paid off in a big way when Liz was accepted to Harvard University.
Wow, homeless to Harvard. My life changed after that.
Well, unbeknownst to Liz, people have admired her chutzpah since she was a little girl. Do you remember Elizabeth Hernandez and Rick, who lived nearby?
Yes.
Come on out, guys. Come on out. So here you were, a neighbor trying to create some sense of family for this little girl who you knew was
Yeah, that's
lost.
correct. Liz, she's like a daughter to me. She is a daughter to me. I'm so very proud of her that she made it to Harvard. I remember when she was little, back when she was 8 years old, I didn't realize that when she ate in my house, how home-cooked meals that I made for her, I didn't realize that would be the only food that she might have.
Of course you
during
didn't
that day.
I made sure they didn't realize. Do you understand?
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I washed the clothes, it would be the only clean clothes she will have, you know?
Look at what you did for the heart of a little girl by washing her clothes and giving her a meal.
You really did.
Yeah.
I grew up having a sense of family. I knew my parents loved me, but that role wasn't fulfilled until I came to your house. I will never be able to thank you for what you did for me.
Isn't this wonderful? Liz's father has since passed away, but something unexpected and wonderful happened between them before he died. Here's the latest from Liz.
My dad and I were estranged for about 6 years, and he lived in a men's shelter for men who are HIV positive. And at some point when I finally got my life together, I got my own apartment, I went to the shelter, I said, "Dad, pack your bags, we're moving in together." I had just gotten into college, and he was sober at that time for the first time in his life. And it was like meeting a new person. I was getting my life together, and we became a family again. At some point when I was up at Harvard, it became clear that Dad needed heart surgery, and I left Harvard for a while. I came back to New York City. I was with my dad. I saw him through the heart surgery. He moved in with me, and we had this really beautiful chapter together, side-by-side family, as I was finishing school. He did eventually pass away a few years ago. 3 weeks before my father died, he wrote me this card. And in the card, he said to me, "Lizzie, I left my dreams behind a long time ago, but I know now that they are safe with you."
Hi, YouTubers. I'm excited to give you an update about our own YouTube channel. Now you can
Here are the resources that we used in our presentation. Costume. This is the picture that we chose for our costume reference.
Thank you for listening to our presentation.